blast. Teenage dreams and neon screens. It was all rad, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like whatever, together forever. We're never gonna sever. Laughing and sharing our stories clever. We'll take you back. It's like whatever.
Welcome to Like Whatever, a podcast for, by, and about Gen X. I'm Nicole, and this is my BFF, Heather.
Konnichiwa. I'm going to learn hello in every language.
Yay, I love it.
Yeah. Sign language.
I'll tell you when she does that one, because you won't see it. And I think I missed an F in there, but it definitely wasn't the one that stands for fuck. I promise you that.
No, she never leaves the fuck out of anywhere.
I do not. So, how was your week?
It was a week. I don't even remember what I did.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
I mean, it's Father's Day was 2 days ago, so shout out to the dads out there.
Yes.
I got to text with mine. Oh, I'm having a phone call with him tonight.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I texted mine.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I told my mom to let him die the other day. He didn't know.
That was his own fault.
It is his own fault. No one, whatever.
But a Gen X memory I had of my dad on Father's Day was when I was really little, so like 5. My mom, I don't know, at school maybe, I don't know, in the evenings, it would just be me and my dad. I don't know where she was. I really don't. But he would let me stay up late and we would play Toss Across for hours. Do you remember Toss Across?
No, I don't.
It was a big plastic floor tic-tac-toe board.
Oh.
And it had 3 blue
beanbags?
yes, and 3 red ones. And you threw and tried to get.
Yeah. You know what we did? We played poker. Yep, we sure did. With pretzels.
Yeah.
And saltines. Mm-hmm. And
we probably had cheese. My dad's big cheese. I did used to eat sardine sandwiches with him too.
Ugh.
I know, but he was my dad, so I was like, okay.
My dad used to wake my sister up in the middle of the night just to have a bowl of cereal or a bowl of ice cream with her.
Aww.
Yeah.
He didn't do that with you though, right?
No. It's funny because I do look like my mom. When I was a kid, I looked like my dad. Mm-hmm. But my dad and I are exactly the same person. Mm-hmm. Kind of. Like we fight the same.
You are very much alike.
Yes, very stubborn. Mm-hmm. He is way more athletic than me. And my sister is way more athletic. So he and my sister were close, but I was close with my mom. So
you're a lot like your mom too. I think you're both a pretty good combination of the two.
Both, yeah. It's so weird because I think she looks like my dad and I look exactly like my mom, and people call us twins all the time. I don't think we look anything alike.
No, and if you look at pictures of your mom young, she looks like Jessica.
I know. It's weird, right?
It's really weird.
I know. It's crazy. And then yesterday I was thinking about because I've been listening to Dateline podcasts, and the podcast I was listening to the other day, the person called their sibling, and the sibling knew there was something wrong by the wording that was used, and I was like, I know exactly what wording I would use to my sister to get her to pick it up, and I know she'd pick it up like as soon as I said it. I know she would. Either if I called her sis, because you know how I fucking hate sis, or if I called her Jessie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody calls her that.
I mean, a lot of people, she hates it.
Yeah.
So if I were to call her that, because I don't, even though, for all the fighting we've ever had, I don't ever call her that. So that's how I would, Yep.
Well, you did name her, so you have to respect the name.
Exactly. I mean, it's a good name. It's a good name. What did you do?
I had a great, relaxing weekend. I got some me time.
Excellent.
The 3rd season of Ginny and Georgia came out, and I binged the whole thing. I can't even tell you the last time. For as much as I talk about TV shows that I watch, the last time I really sat for 2 solid days and watched. I mean, they were an hour apiece, and it's 10 episodes. So.
I have the next 2 days off, and I know I'm going to clean my carpet because it's pretty fucking bad, but beyond that, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Stare at the wall.
Yep. So I had some really good downtime, just relaxing. I don't think really anything else exciting
No,
is going on.
I don't think I feel like I did, but then I should really start writing these things down.
You should.
Yeah, but I don't.
I do, and I still don't know what I want to talk about.
I mean, I text my dad on Father's Day, so he's clearly still alive because he did answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's been sick. I know you know, but for other people, I'm not just being a jackass. He has been sick and refused to go to the emergency room.
Yep.
And my mother was very upset about it. And I said, just let him die then. If he wants to die, let him fucking die.
And then what did your sister say?
The same exact thing. So,
Yeah.
I'm not just being an ignorant ass.
No. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to our friend Pat because he is just so supportive.
He is very supportive.
And he just got back from Phoenix for book signing, like weekend with his people or a week. It looks like he had a really great time, but we appreciate you, Pat. And we love that you put out there what we're talking about.
Yes.
And try to
You're
get
our
people
number
to
one
listen.
fan.
You are definitely our number one fan. Yeah. So shout out to Pat.
Yay, Pat.
Yay, Pat.
And his book is really good, so you should read it.
Yeah. He's getting a lot of good reviews on it.
It is very good.
He keeps getting 5-star reviews.
Yeah, we need
Do
to
you
get
see
him
that?
on here.
I know.
Pat, send me an email. I figured out how to do video.
We did.
I learned how to edit.
Yes. So, yeah, email us.
Yeah. Anybody else who wants to be on here and you want to email us,
Yeah. We think we figured it out.
Yeah, we did. Now I got it. And because I did, I might, and I'm just going to put this out there, because maybe it will happen, but I have a line on a celebrity that I could get on. I don't know if I could get him on here, but I could definitely get probably could get an interview with. Just saying, just putting it out there. There's a possibility that we could get a celebrity.
That would be so exciting. Oh my gosh.
She knows who it is.
I do know who it is. And I'm very excited for who it is.
Yes. Pretty fucking exciting.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about Gen X. All right. So before we get going, if you could all please like, share, rate, review. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on all the socials at Like Whatever Pod. We are on YouTube, and you can send us an email to likewhateverpod@gmail.com.
We'll start scheduling out. We record on Tuesdays most of the time.
Yeah, get your emails in soon because
unless it's a holiday, and then we record on the holiday.
And if somebody Gen X dies, then you get bumped.
You get bumped unless you want to talk about that person.
Oh yeah. That's true. I guess
that's only on her week too. It's not my weeks. We don't find out until like 5 minutes before we record.
Just book on Heather's weeks. You're safe. All right. So today, let's fuck around and find out about the Jerry Lewis Labor Day Telethon.
I know we're just going to come straight out the gate on this one. This is a person that Nicole and I have always disagreed on. Yeah.
So growing up, I was a huge Jerry Lewis fan. I just love slapstick physical comedy. My dad's silly like that.
Yes.
He's not necessarily physically, but he's goofy, silly, funny, talks in funny voices, like things like that. So maybe that was my draw, but so I love the Did you watch the telethon?
I did. I do.
You have memories of watching the telethon?
I do have memories of watching the telethon.
Okay. So firstly, my info comes from Mental Floss, an author named Dylan Dalla. And I had to go wiki a little bit this week. Turns out not a lot of people really have a lot of information out there about the Jerry Lewis Telethon, which
weird.
Is probably a really bad idea for the podcast this week, but
hey, here we are.
But it was fun reading through this stuff and actually getting an adult perspective on it as well, because I didn't even know it went into the 2000s.
I think I did.
I don't know. I guess I don't know that I even watched it anymore once I wasn't a kid.
Right. I mean, I don't think I ever watched it, but
Well, I can remember. It was always kind of neat because it's one of the good memories that I have with my mom was every year, for whatever reason, I would wake up in the middle of the night and go out, and she'd be up at like 2 a.m, sitting in the dark in the living room watching the Jerry Lewis Telethon, and she would always make me blueberry waffles.
I think the thing I remember most about the Jerry Lewis Telethon is him in his tuxedo with his tie, his bow tie undone. I don't know why that memory sticks out so much, but that's...
Yeah, and even as a little kid, it blew my mind how long
They were long.
that they went on.
They were long.
But it was kind of really magical to me back then, and I loved watching it and reading about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it wasn't really all that great. And there is a little controversy here and there around it.
Get out. Jerry Lewis, controversy? Stop.
Yeah, that hurts my feelings a little bit, but
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Hey.
He deserves it. All right. So the background of the Jerry Lewis Telethon. TV's first telethon took place in 1949. It was New York's Damon Runyon Memorial Cancer Fund Telethon, and it was hosted by Milton Berle, a.k.a. the snowman in Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
If you want to hear more about that, we have an episode on that. I don't remember.
What's the name
The
of it?
Island of the Misfit. Something about
Yes.
the Misfit Toys.
Yep.
The podcast of Misfit Toys.
There we go.
So go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
That's my job here. I just go back.
is.
I remember.
Because you have the memory.
Yeah.
I
I remember what the thing. And I name every one of them. So.
All right. So one of the guests on that very first telethon was a brash young comedian who appeared with his singing partner, Dean Martin. The young comic was, of course, Jerry Lewis. At the time, Martin and Lewis were the hottest act in all of showbiz.
Yep.
That's in the good old days.
Brat Pack days.
Oh, yeah. The comedy team later made an appearance at the 1952 Olympic Fun Telethon hosted by Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. Another good combo there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any controversy around either of those gentlemen.
Not at all.
It's just,
Not at all, Bing Crosby.
you know what? Speaking of which, Rod Stewart is on tour right now, and it just grosses me out so bad.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
How the
Digest
hell?
that.
Rod Stewart
I think
has
he was
to
just
be
in Philly.
147 years
Like
old.
he's in big stadiums.
Look, so my first 45, because that's how old we are. My first 45 was Hot Legs.
Of course.
I mean, I know you all know. If you don't know how my parents were, you can check back on Dragon's Dream to see how I was raised, to know that Rod Stewart's Hot Legs would indeed be the first 45 I ever got. And I listen to the lyrics now and I'm like, wow.
I mean, he literally sang a song about a 15-year-old.
Yes.
And I don't want to hear it was the time socially acceptable. It has never been okay to have sex with children. I don't care.
No.
I don't care. I will stand on that. Back to the castles and all that shit. It's never been okay. I don't care if they only lived to be 30 back then.
It is not okay.
No, just don't.
Just don't.
So me seeing him like still pulling a crowd, I'm like, ew, he's not canceled? Like, gross.
I just don't think any of them were. I mean, if you think about it, they all had.
Well, that is true. I bet it would be hard to find whether they knowingly or not.
I mean,
a
we could
rock and
talk
roller
about
who did not have sex.
Ted Nugent all day long. I mean,
And 15, 16-year-olds were getting in as groupies.
well, he has a
and
song.
they weren't
Isn't he
IDing
the
them.
one that does? He has a song. I mean, Ted Nugent, but whatever. We
Yeah.
won't go there.
Yeah.
Move on.
I think we're gonna hit on a couple more too as we go.
Well, here's the thing. Before we go any further,
Okay.
I meant to say this up front and I forgot because I've had Fireball. So last week's episode
Yes.
did garner a little bit of
Hostility.
bullshit.
Trolls.
We don't make any money off of this podcast. Nobody's paying anything to listen. Nobody. This is just us.
Yes.
If you want to listen to us go on about shit, that's great. We appreciate you. But,
If you don't,
that's fuck off.
if you don't want to see a pride flag in your feed, if it hurts your little pussy when you see that, then you can go into Facebook and you can actually go to our page and block us, so that you can make sure that you never see anything else from us again. So there are ways around it without giving your bigoted opinions on our feed. But
you don't need to listen if you want to have a bigoted opinion and you want to tell us all about it. I really don't care.
Yeah, we know you're out there.
We
You're
don't
nothing
have
new.
47 million people listening. So really, your opinion,
Yeah.
just like an asshole. Everybody's got one. Okay.
Moving on. Yep. There is surviving footage of this appearance by Martin and Lawrence, and they are uninhibited, wild, and electric. Incredibly, when Martin and Lewis come to stage, Bing Crosby rushes off in fear. Crosby was terrified Lewis would pull his toupee off. Yep, and he never reappeared when the boys were on stage. Oh, man, men are funny.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
in the early 1950s, Lewis was asked to host a telethon for a little-known disease called muscular dystrophy. Lewis accepted, and together with Martin, put on the very first MD telethon. The two hosted other telethons together until their split as a team in 1956. Martin went on to other things, but Lewis never stopped. Over the years, he hosted several other 4-hour muscular dystrophy telethons, sans Martin, much shorter than the almost 24-hour telethons to which we've become accustomed. The first Jerry Lewis Labor Day weekend telethon was in 1966. Over Labor Day weekend, and it broadcast from the Americana Hotel in New York. Some were skeptical about the success of the undertaking, as many people were not home on Labor Day. But surprisingly, the telethon was a huge success, raising just over $1 million.
That is pretty crazy. I don't know.
It's
the last weekend of summer.
Yeah.
You'd think people would be out doing summer shit.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking back to when my kids were little, and you did back then go to school the day after Labor Day.
Yes.
That was always, so maybe you were home, it was put it on, getting clothes ready, getting lunches packed.
Getting back into a routine.
Yeah, getting everybody to bed at a decent time, all that stuff. So
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
yeah. So Jerry Lewis's annual Labor Day telethons went on to raise more than $2 billion in donations to fight muscular dystrophy. Lewis claimed his goal each year was to get $1 more, and I remember that.
Yes.
Than the previous year. The biggest single donations over the years, and I remember this too, have come from the Firefighters Association, who have given more than $250,000 to the cause. I always remembered it was a big deal when the firefighters came out to present their check. Nothing has hurt Lewis more than accusations that he has pocketed some of the donated money himself, which I don't believe that, but what do I know? He vigorously denies this claim, and he even swears he has given $7 million out of his own pocket to the cause. He has been accused, including by some who are stricken with MD, of exploiting his quote-unquote kids, portraying them as pitiable victims who just need a big charity to take care of or cure them. Lewis has fought back against these charges too.
I think the problem is there's such a fine line of exploitation and education.
That, and I know from personal experience with my career, I have never had any issue with disabled people, but I didn't know disabled people. And there are things that would offend them that you would you wouldn't realize.
Right.
Like, it's very condescending to say to them, "Oh, good for you."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, great.
Yay.
You did it."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, I think maybe the intentions were good, but if you're going to do something like this, you need to educate yourself a little bit more on what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And there are other problematic things we'll get to as we go.
I'm shocked.
Many of the biggest celebrities in show business have either hosted or appeared on Lewis's telethons over the years, including Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and 3 of the Beatles. In John Lennon's appearance with wife Yoko Ono, he stated, "Jerry is one of our favorite comedians."
I feel like that's probably a lie.
The ultra-reclusive Joe DiMaggio came on to answer phones one year, and even a U.S. President, Ronald Reagan, made an appearance. He's an actor. Of course he did.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's a celebrity.
Yeah.
But the all-time highlight of telethon history was unequivocally the reunion of Jerry Lewis and his former partner, Dean Martin, in 1976, staged by their mutual friend, Frank Sinatra. It was an incredible moment in television history, being Martin and Lewis's first public appearance together in 20 years. The two tearfully hugged, kidded around, and cracked a few one-liners before Martin and Sinatra sang, after which Martin disappeared with a wave and a friendly ciao. Lewis has always worn his heart on his sleeve regarding his deep affection for his former partner. I think it's so funny they keep calling him his partner, because apparently Martin was really bothered by it, because while Martin was always Mr. Macho and rarely displayed any kind of emotion in public, but if you watch the video, you will see Martin quickly sneak a brief kiss on Lewis's cheek as they hug.
Well, okay, but that's probably a cultural thing.
I was going to say it was very commonplace.
Yes.
I mean, that's what Italians do.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yes.
Europeans do.
Oh, well, Italians will kiss you square in the lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or both cheeks. Or
Yeah. My mom,
they come in hot.
like, if you don't kiss her on the lips, she's pissed. Like, that's not just, you kiss her on the lips. So
She's so cute.
she will.
All right. And then one of my favorites, and please tell me there wasn't any controversy around Ed McMahon.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think
I've never.
Okay, good. Because I always liked Ed McMahon. My dad was a huge Johnny Carson fan. So we watched a lot of that. And then, of course, Ed McMahon was on the telethon for a lot of years. So in early 1973, the year I was born, Lewis asked Ed McMahon to be his co-host for the show, and McMahon continued in that role. Similar to his regular position as announcer and sidekick of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, McMahon was Lewis's announcer, voicing the intros and outros of each segment, welcoming corporate and charitable sponsors with their donations, and calling for a roll of a timpani drum for each $1 million mark passed on the tote board. Johnny Carson himself, a longtime friend of Lewis, surprised viewers by opening the 1970 telethon with a Tonight Show style monologue while Lewis stood backstage, a role that Carson repeated in 1971 and 1971 and 1972 until the telethon moved to Vegas.
Go back to Vegas so bad.
I know. We'll go soon. We'll make it work.
You know what happened? Do you know what happened on the
In Vegas?
No.
It stayed there.
It stayed there. No. So you know that app that I gamble, just between you and me. You know that app that I gamble on. They just added Texas Hold'em poker. I know, and there's only a $2 buy-in.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man. Ooh, stop telling me things like that. All right. McMahon, borrowing from Carson's prognosticating character Carmack the Magnificent, also made predictions on what the final total of funds raised would be. And from 1970 through 1979, he was spot on many years, missing by as little as thousands of dollars considering the final tallies. The practice was abandoned after the 1982 telethon raised $2 million less than the previous year, which Lewis attributed to the severe 1980 to 82 recession that had gripped the U.S. The trend of taking a break during the telethon was started in 1985 by McMahon. Much like his role with Carson, McMahon would co-host only when Lewis was hosting, with his duties as co-host filled in by others when Lewis was away. McMahon died June 23rd, 2009. The 2009 edition of the telethon paid tribute to McMahon with a special video tribute narrated by Lewis, which played during the first hour of the show.
I don't think I realized that Ed McMahon died in that long ago.
Yeah. It keeps happening to me that I don't even realize people died.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think of somebody, I'm like, are they alive?
Are they
still?
Are you alive?
Like, how old would they even be? Let's see. Following the tribute, Lewis introduced McMahon's wife, Pamela, who was in the audience. During the telethon for that year, Jan Carl assumed McMahon's duties during Lewis's hours on air, while Sean Parr billboarded the start and end of each segment. So here's the crazy part. Why did Jerry Lewis do it?
Why did Jerry Lewis do it?
You would assume, just with your basic knowledge, he had his sibling with muscular dystrophy. He had a niece or nephew. I don't know if he had any kids of his own, but it's none of that. So anyway,
it's none of that.
One of the biggest mysteries of all regarding his unceasing dedication to the Muscular Dystrophy Association is, why does Jerry do it? Oddly, Lewis has never revealed to anyone the exact reason. While no one may ever know the real reason, a little-known story about Lewis is very telling. When he was 2 years old, Lewis developed a strange and potentially crippling disease. According to Lewis, his beloved grandmother nursed him, and although a very strict Jew, cooked him bacon and crammed it into his mouth to help fight off the impending sickness. What potential disease it was, we have no idea, but Lewis has stated this story is true. If so, the frightening memory of a debilitating disease may have had at least some impact on his tireless work in the fight against muscular dystrophy.
I'm going to tell you that that's exactly why I eat bacon.
It's to stave off sickness.
Yep. Yep. A piece of
You
bacon a
cram
day.
it in there.
Yep. A piece of bacon a day keeps the doctor away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, apples have too many pesticides on them.
Fuck apples. They got worms. It's gross.
The National Muscular Dystrophy Association announced that in 2011, for the first time since 1966, Jerry Lewis would not be headlining the annual MDA Telethon for Jerry's Kids. After earning more than $2 billion, the show was going on without him. And I do remember when they took him off, but I don't remember any of this controversy. I assumed it was because he was very heavyset and pale and sweaty and looked awful in this last couple of years that he did it. Like by the end, that's how he looked. So, I mean, you're just too old for that.
Yeah.
So. But every Labor Day, the annual Jerry Lewis MDA Telethon was a national ritual. It marked the end of summer and the start of fall. The show and pledge drive was painful to watch at times, but also gave us many tear-jerking moments. At times, the telethon was must-see TV. Most of the duration clocking in at 21 hours straight on live television, Lewis on stage puffing away constantly on a lit cigarette. It was an endless parade of D-list celebrities, interspersed with agonizing promo pieces that critics insisted made the handicapped objects of pity. At its height in 1976, which was watched at least in part by 85 million people, the MDA Telethon was bigger than The Tonight Show.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, it was a thing.
I remember it being a thing.
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, I'm sure I watched it. I know.
Just like
I mean, they only had 3 channels, so it was really hard to not watch it.
like The Wizard of Oz was always a thing. That
Yeah.
came on once a year, and we always watched that.
Yeah.
You don't like The Wizard of Oz?
No.
Oh, you're such a weirdo.
I know.
Why?
It's a musical,
Oh, fair.
for one.
Okay. I didn't think, I love musicals, so I didn't think about that.
For 2, I don't know. It's too much. You're doing too much. This is too much. I don't.
It is a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. I don't know.
Very acid trippy.
It's not just that. It's just like it's long. I don't know.
Just doesn't catch your attention.
No, never liked it.
Yeah.
The witch dies. I don't think that's right. They just murder both witches.
Yeah.
Like she's just trying to get revenge on the fact that you dropped the fucking house on her sister and then took her sister's shoes. That's fucked up, man.
It does kind of take away from it too that not Liza Minnelli, her mom.
Yeah.
Talk about problematic.
Judy Garland.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I actually had to just stop thinking about it because I knew it wasn't going to come, and I knew you'd get it, so I just waited for you.
I don't know. I never got into it. I don't know why.
I mean, that's fair. I get it.
I don't know.
I loved it though. But anyway, Judy
do.
Garland was like 12 when she filmed that, and she lived on cigarettes and coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Probably cocaine.
Oh, no doubt. She has to stay awake with no food in her.
That's true. I didn't let her eat.
No. So muscular dystrophy is still with us. It hasn't been cured.
Great, Jared. What did you do then?
Perhaps the power of these charity events and telethons, which is bringing special needs to the public's attention, is good. But better to be aware than ignorant, which is what we were talking about. And it's not your fault if you're ignorant to something. You just don't have any exposure to it.
Right.
But don't be like, well, they shouldn't say that. Or why can't I say that? Like, if they tell you don't say it, don't fucking say it. Yeah, that's all. They don't have to explain to you why.
No.
Yeah. All right. So what happened to all that money? Who got it? And where did it go?
Where did it go?
Apparently, some of it went in Jerry Lewis's pocket.
Mm-hmm.
On average, MDA telethons raised about $60 million a year, sometimes more. Recall the huge dollar tote board on stage that was constantly upticking to a monetary goal, and then once certain thresholds were crossed, many New Year's Eve celebrations would break out while the audience cheered and the band played and confetti flew. At least until the next $10 million cycle was reached.
I remember, I think the thing I remember most is when like they would bring him a piece of paper and he would read.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what I remember.
Mm-hmm. Some live moments were riveting and cringeworthy all at the same time. Every few hours, it seemed, some local kid was invited up on stage, clutching a piggy bank, or a 7-year-old forked over the entirety of her $42.65 in quarters, dimes, and nickels that she had raised for MDA by running a neighborhood lemonade stand. These instances were heartwarming, but also bizarre, given the executive base salary of MDA's president's earning of $500,000 a year.
Get out. No way. Stop it.
Yeah, this really broke my heart. Like, I'll not look at the Jerry Lewis telethon the same.
You know, and
anymore.
here's the thing, like about charities. Okay, I have certain charities that I give to.
Mm-hmm, me too.
Those are the only charities. So don't be bugging me about any other charity. I'm 50 fucking years old. I know what charities I want to give to.
I don't want to round up.
No.
I don't want to give
No,
$1.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't want to do any of those.
I
things.
have already chosen the 2 charities that I like to give to.
Yes.
So leave me alone about it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I know for a fact that the one charity I like to give to is a little on the iffy side. However, the one charity that I like to give to, I may, in fact, someday need because of where I live.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about that. That is why I might actually have to use that charity at some point.
Yep. Gotcha.
And the other charity I give to, I was already a part of. So, I didn't need them, but
Yep. Okay. So many advocates for the disabled, including some of Jerry's kids, came to despise the MDA telethon over time, despite its best intentions. They claimed the telethon used handicapped children as props. Some critics even claimed the portrayal of victim children widened the divide between able-bodied people and the disabled. Some of the images that were shown even triggered fear, which is really weird.
yeah.
Unless it was triggering fear in the disabled kids, then that's different. I don't know what images they're talking about. There was also intense debate within MDA about diverting the public's attention to cures to normalize people with disabilities, which entirely ignored more urgent issues like providing accessible buildings, transportation, employment opportunities, and other basic rights. It also paid little attention to adults, despite about 70% of all people with MD being adults. The telethon solely promoted children and did not fully represent the real lives of people who lived with MD.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
It does. And this is what I'm talking about. You didn't get some people with MD in the room and say, hey, how should we do this?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the same thing, I think, as the cochlear implant push that was happening, where granted, some deaf people are all for it. Some deaf people are like, there's nothing wrong with me.
Right.
Stop pushing it. And
Yes.
I agree with that. It's like, stop pushing it.
Exactly. Well, I don't want to hear what you have to say anyway.
Yeah.
Still, it's hard to argue with the impact of the MDA telethon and its legacy as a cultural force. The marathon of a telethon had a bit of everything, though it was often a tedious mess. We'd get the latest medical research updates. A cure is just around the corner. Stale celebrity interviews, a parade of public service announcements, guilt-inducing videos, off-key musical performances, and lots of has-been stand-up comedy skits.
Yes, I do remember that.
It was glorious at the time to me as a child. How many comedians were shoved on stage by their agents to do decades-old acts and try to be funny at 9:35 a.m. just moments after everyone watched a gut-wrenching video of Jerry's kids pleading tearfully from wheelchairs?
Yeah.
That made me laugh the first time too. Most of the MDA telethons were held in Las Vegas casinos, which I didn't realize as they were going through, they were talking about where it was held. And it never occurred to me that it was at a casino. I don't know where I would have thought it would have been, but
I mean, it makes sense because they usually have like a convention.
yeah.
Like, I'm sure they're not doing, I don't remember. But maybe I do remember, and that's what my gambling issue started.
Oh, blame it on Jerry Lewis. I like it.
I am going to, yes. And it had nothing to do with the fact that my parents took us to Atlantic City all the time.
Well, my dad and stepmom took us to Seaside Heights in Jersey when we were little. And there were slot machines right on the boardwalk. I mean, just rows and rows and rows of nickel machines. And all the fun things for kids to do, 10, 11, 12 years old, they'd set us free. You know, it was like that back then.
Yep.
We'd go get rolls of nickels and sit and play the slot machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never had a chance.
We really didn't. We really didn't.
Lewis was sincere in his care, compassion, and commitment to MDA and the children. Unfortunately, he also made a number of controversial statements later in his life and was accused of sexual harassment by multiple women. Shocker. That one never shocks me. I don't care who the person is. Charges that severely tarnished his legacy.
Sometimes I think about that and I'm like, what celebrity would I just, if I found out that they were, that was like a sexual harassment issue, who
Harassment or any sexual, because Kevin Spacey's, that one kicked me.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it, I think, because but like, I think if it were to come out about like Tom Hanks, I think that would be very upsetting. Like, I think.
Like David Letterman.
Didn't he have one come out about him?
He had an affair. He cheated on his wife.
Oh, that's what it was.
But, I mean, that's his business.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like some celebrities, it would just be devastating.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And who has it been devastating?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I don't know why this made me think of it, but Eric Kane, is that his name from Grey's Anatomy? McDreamy?
Yeah, I saw that last night.
You saw that interview too?
Yes.
I knew he was sick. I didn't know he was that sick already.
No, it was so sad.
He doesn't even look the same.
No, I wouldn't have recognized. No.
That's what I told Amy. I was with her when I was watching it, and I was like, if you wouldn't have told me that was him, I wouldn't have known.
That, if you haven't watched Grey's Anatomy, here's the spoiler alert. His death is probably
the saddest thing you'll ever see.
besides George's death. Yes.
Yeah.
That show was filled with sad deaths.
That show was great for crying.
Sure, that show was great for. That's a good show. I haven't watched.
I know.
it.
I've been thinking about going back.
I have too. I don't know.
I've tried to watch. I think I'm a couple seasons behind, and I've tried to go back and watch those. But
Once Sandra Oh left, I think it lost it.
yeah. Especially leaving it and trying to come back to it now. I think I would need to go back and watch my OG people.
I think you have to start from jump, and then there's
so
like
good.
15 years of it, so it would be
Yeah, and I don't remember anything, so it would be all brand new to me.
all brand new. I remember that damn plane crash.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes.
And Lex, no, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna upset myself.
We're going to start crying.
Oh, McDreamy.
All right. So on May 1st, 2015, MDA announced that the 2014 show of Strength would be the telethon's last broadcast. In announcing the end of the telethon's 49-year run, MDA president and CEO Stephen Dirks noted the move was influenced by the realities of television viewing and philanthropic giving. Note the viral success of the Ice Bucket Challenge that built awareness and funds to combat ALS. Instead, MDA will focus on new creative and organic ways to raise support for the organization and its mission, including mobile and digital media. I think I saw that they have like a virtual telethon.
Well, I mean, so I think probably the problem now is there's like so many different causes to give your money to.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you are very familiar with a specific disorder or handicap or anything like that, I mean, I just don't think you would be able, not like you did by a 24-hour telephone, to sympathize, not so much sympathize, but to really wrap your head around to give your money.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably, plus nobody's going to watch it. I mean, nobody's going to sit there and watch 24 hours.
No way. There's no way. Yeah. So no one would definitely watch that now.
No.
I don't have the patience. I put on the Macy's Day Parade for like 10 minutes
seconds.
And then I'm like, okay, good enough.
Yeah, I just don't, I think people...
On to the next one. But like you said before, they had us cornered. Like, what else were you going to watch?
Exactly.
Especially at 2 a.m.
And I think now with everything being able to, I think you probably could, if you could find a way to go viral. I think that's the best way to do it at this point. Like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. You know, it was very effective.
Yeah, definitely. That was a fun challenge.
I don't
usually get into things. I did it too. But
me and my little sister Elena.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. I let her dump a bucket of ice on my head.
No.
I know. That was
you would
dumb.
let her do anything.
Yeah.
So in 2016, Lewis broke a 5-year silence by appearing in an online video endorsing MDA's redesigned website, declaring that the work MDA started must go on. It would turn out to be his final MDA appearance, as he died on August 20th, 2017 at the age of 91.
I do remember when he died.
See, and that's funny because, But yeah, reading through this and just really putting an adult perspective on it, I don't know how adults watched it. Like I said, as a kid, with the tally board and the confetti and the music, it was entertaining to me.
Right. But at the time, I mean, we think that because we are adults now with the 24-hour news and TikTok and everything. I mean, we have the same issue. Yes, we remember back to those days, but we have the same issue that the kids have now.
Absolutely.
Our attention span only lasts the 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to watch. We'll put a show on and we'll watch 10 minutes, look at each other and be like, meh.
Yeah.
I mean, we've literally not given it a chance.
Yeah. I think, and so, looking back, probably adults at the time. I mean, it was also celebrities that they probably.
That is true. The crooners were really big then.
Yes, the crooners were.
Yeah.
And they were the Brat Pack. So, I think a lot of people always wanted to know what they were doing and what
like
was
the
going on.
Kardashians of their time.
Yeah, it was like a world that was foreign to most people.
Yes, but so glamorous.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was not, but
no, but the money and the
and
clothes
fame
and the jewelry,
and the Vegas,
the drinks, and
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fancy, I guess. Yeah, I guess I could see it being entertaining back then. I forget that everything was really cheesy back then.
Well, and that's just it. Yeah, like we have. I know I've said it on here. I don't know why we have these weird channels that are just like one show is the only thing on the channel, and it runs. Anyway, we were watching Three's Company the other day, and watching it back. Well, I remembered. He did not remember that there was a spinoff that was Three's a Crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And watching it back, you're like, I don't even know, like what was going on. I don't know. Things were different then.
Very.
So I think we're seeing it as a perspective of adults today.
Fair enough.
And we weren't adults then.
And what was the song you said that he...
Oh, You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yeah. You said that's what Jerry Lewis sang at the end of each one. I don't remember that part.
I kind of do. But, they probably ended it probably like prime time Sunday, I would think. That would make the most sense. Definitely. Although I don't know. Did you happen to say what station it was on? Was it on all of them?
I didn't put that in here, but yeah, it was on like 64 stations and then a bunch of other like smaller stations. It was on everything.
Oh. Was it a specific network?
Oh, like ABC?
Yeah.
I did not see anything specific to that in anything that I read.
I don't remember. So I would imagine, because I know a lot of TV shows.
I wonder if it was on all the channels.
I don't know. I mean, there's one way to find that out. Came on ABC. We took a minute. We Googled it.
Yeah.
It was on ABC. And my guess, I didn't look this part up because it is really hard to find anything. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that it ended right before The Wonderful World of Disney started on a Sunday night.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that would be my guess, because also on ABC, which is funny because they own ABC now. Disney.
Oh.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle.
It really does. Oh, speaking of that, I meant to bring, I need to start writing things down.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that the Muppet thing ended at Disney?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. It's gone.
Why?
And I think they said Jim Henson's daughter was the last one to walk into the... Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you take that out?
They're putting something else up. I don't know what. Something for the new
stupidly
children's. The new children's. I don't know. But I did see that was ending, and I'm a huge Muppets fan. Like, just.
Me too.
I don't know if he still listens, but our friend, we walked like, I don't know. It seemed like 47 miles in our docks in the pouring ass cold rain to go watch the Muppet Christmas Carol. Oh, goodness sakes. When we were in college. I'm a big Muppet. I really love the Muppets.
Me too.
It's the first movie I ever saw.
Yeah, I watched the show.
Yes.
Religiously.
Yeah.
I bet if I watched it now, I'd know most of the words to most of the songs.
Yeah. It's on. They have it on, I think, Disney. I think Disney Plus has it.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Enough about the Muppets. Yes. That closed this. If you're going to Disney World, it's not there anymore. Don't even bother. Yeah, so ABC. I remember, I guess I remember it. I think more than that, I remember telethons were just a big thing then.
See, I don't remember.
Oh, MPT had it. You all don't have the M in front of your PT, but I did. That your public television, they always had They always had telethons.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can call
Oh,
and get
yeah,
this
yeah,
nice
yeah.
tote bag.
Yeah.
If you donate
No, they still
25
do that.
I know. If you donate $25, you too can have this nice tote bag.
But the PBS does that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep. And NPR as well.
Mm-hmm. Mine's MPT, Maryland Public Television.
Oh, excuse me.
But I forget it's also PBS.
Yeah, I don't even think that NPR told me anything good this week. It's all just World War III and
Good times.
yeah.
It's yeah.
Sorry, I tried not to go there.
I know this one we figured was going to be short because it's very difficult to find stuff, and last couple ones have been very, very long.
Yes, so we'll give you a little break.
Yeah. Did you have anything else?
No.
She does love Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, I think he's funny. I love Lucille Ball.
She's into that.
Like, I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Again, my dad watched a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah.
And if you want to see how cute our dads were when they were young,
yeah, we have them up on the Facebook page.
They were posted for Father's Day.
Me and my dad, and her dad.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
hanging out. You can definitely see that I lived in a van at the time.
And you can see I was a little fancy.
It's always been fancy. I'm not gonna lie. I actually, if you look at those pictures on the Facebook page, you will definitely see I look like a dirt ball. And she is fancy.
I have pin straight, clean hair, pretty dress.
I was rocking my Dorothy Hamill haircut and cut off jeans, and I was dirty. So, yeah. So, speaking of that, you should check out our socials because that's where you will see pictures of us as children, and pictures of us as adults. Probably. I don't know. I don't really get on the Facebook page much. I shouldn't say that, but that's her bag. So like, share, rate, review. Find us where you listen to podcasts. Follow us on all the socials,
please.
You can. No, I gotta think of something. I didn't. If you would like to send us an email about Jerry's kids, you can send it to likewhateverpod@gmail.com. Or don't,
whatever.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll take